Welcome back to another episode of Grublets on Ice with Andrew and Dave.
Episode 12.
12, a full dozen. Wow.
Yep, a dozen. Look at that.
Has the time flown by or what? That's pretty cool.
So.
What a ride it's been. Whew. Yes. Protein shake. You know what he's building? He's building one of these for visual viewers. Do you know what this is? It's his gun rack.
Oh, I'm trying. Just went to the gym tonight.
Oh, nice.
Lifted more than the people in front of me. That seems to be a trend.
Yeah. Some people are... I think Now, I don't know if you've seen this when you've been at the gym, but for me, when I used to go to the gym, I don't look like I've been to the gym in a while because I haven't. But the most annoying people in the gym are not the ones that are grunting, not the guys as they're doing their last reps. It's the groups of people that go to the gym, and one person is doing their set, and the other ones are sitting on all the equipment around them.
Yeah.
Taking up the equipment.
I've seen that.
And they will not move because you want to use the machine.
Okay, well, I haven't seen that. The ones that do it for me or at my gym, they're kind of courteous with it, so they'll see that I'm going and order a few machines, and when they see them ready to move, they move.
Those are the good gym people.
Yeah. I haven't had any bad gym experience.
There's always some. What time do you usually go to the gym at?
Oh, it varies. Tonight we went at 7:30-ish.
That's still a fairly busy time.
Yeah. Sometimes we'll go on the weekends though, Or Fridays I get off at 3, so sometimes we'll go then, like right after work. But just depends when our schedules sync up.
That's fair. Now, when I used to go, the gym I used to go to was a very small gym, so there wasn't a lot of space. But I used to go at like 11:30 at night. So I'd come home from work, have a couple hours nap, have dinner, hang out for a little bit, then I'd go to at like 11:30 because there'd only be like 5 or 6 people there. And you can just rip your sets off one after the other, just nonstop, just keep going. So you keep it works for me because like when I'd go at like say like right after work at 4 p.m. or 5 p.m., the gym was so packed it would take you easily 3 hours to get through your full workout. Whereas you go at like 11:30 and that gym was empty, you could rip through in a high power, just rip through it in like 45.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, I don't blame anyone, but I hate waiting for machines.
Oh, it drives me bonkers. But
anyway, on to today's first topic: McDavid and Myers suspension. Am I surprised it's the same amount? No, it makes perfect sense. They did the same thing. Myers is a bigger boy, so it probably hurt Bouchard a little bit more, but same action.
Got him right in
I'm
the
cool with it being the same amount.
If you're the NHL, it happened quite literally within seconds of each other. McDavid's over here at the hash marks, and Myers and Bouchard are in the corner. It happened quite literally 1 and then 2. That quickly. Could you imagine the backlash the player safety would have gotten if they had given, say, McDavid 3 games and Myers 1? Can you imagine the backlash that would have gotten that?
Yeah, that way or the other way. If they had to give in McDavid 1 or 2 and Myers 3, then there would have been pissed off people. So they did the right thing.
Yeah, you in that situation, even if
And
it's a
not just
few
for
games
that reason.
apart, no, like they were both ugly.
Exactly.
Now McDavid's, I mean, hockey's it's a high tempo, high pressure, like high stakes game. You're playing with the edge of your motions, where one small step will usually set most people off. It was pretty bad. Like obviously McDavid's was a lot more retaliatory because of the interference holding obstruction that was going on from Connor Garland.
Yeah, but that was because of McDavid. McDavid could have gotten up a lot faster off of Garland. Honestly, I don't blame the officials completely, but they should have called something there. And then when Garland did it, even offsetting minors, just like, okay, we're not having this in the game because that would have prevented everything.
You yeah, it would have been prevented, but yet you can't let it go on that long and then expect nothing to happen. It's the
Yeah,
NHL. These guys are passionate. You don't get there by lollygagging. You're
exactly.
there because you're passionate and you're batshit crazy.
Huh.
Now, some more than others, but yeah, you don't. These guys are crazy and like they're playing on the edge of their emotions. You let it go too far, and it's going to boil over, and you get into situations like this. So yeah, partially I blame the refs on this one because it shouldn't have got to that point.
But that said, neither player should have gone for a cross check to the face. I mean, you can probably slip one in quietly to the ribs or to the lower body, but don't aim that high.
No,
Don't even come close to aiming that high because there's always that chance you slip and go up to the side of the head or whatever.
there's always that chance. It's happened with a few other people who have also been suspended or fined this year and previous years. Like Riley, when he got suspended 5 games last year,
You're cutting
obviously
out a little bit.
went to the shore and he rode up. Or Berggren, same thing. He got a fine when he cross-checked Dewar earlier this season. But I don't know. I I
The
don't know
Riley
how
one's not a
well. Like
comparable for me.
maybe 3 games is right.
Riley's
I
is
I
completely
wasn't
different.
necessarily like
He
comparing them.
attacked,
I was just being like in that sense that
but you could compare Berggren's to some extent. The best comparison would be the Darlene Matthews because they were going at it.
are you
Uh,
use
Sorry, what was that?
are you having issues or is that me?
I don't know. You cut out a bit for me. Am I cutting out for you?
Yeah, you like your screen went blank and it started having the rotating spinner like you're loading.
Mm.
Oh, sorry, cool little thing. I was just checking the Leafs game. Um, remember when we were talking about late draft picks a few episodes ago, and Guy was on here, and we were talking about just that one interesting name for the Columbus Blue Jackets, Luca Del Bel Blues.
Oh, yes.
He
Yes.
scored. He scored tonight, an unassisted wrist shot.
Good for him.
Good for him. Second goal of the season. Fun name, Del Bel Blues. But
Anyways,
anyway, back to the
Matthews,
questions.
Darlene. So they went at it. They were hacking back and forth, pushing. And then Matthews turns around, whether he did it on purpose or not, he cross checks him in the face or in the head area. He gets 2 games. Um,
Mhm.
I could see, honestly, I'm fine with the 3 games. I could see an argument for 2 just because of that comparable. And McDavid hasn't been suspended since 2019.
2019.
And Myers, it's been actually even longer. I think it might have been near a decade. Sorry, near a decade.
Yeah,
Um,
I don't remember him getting suspended recently, but I could be wrong. But
Especially for a big player like Myers. So 2012, 2014. So yeah,
2014,
a
more
decade.
over a decade ago.
Exactly. So I could see an argument for, 2 games, but I am fine with 3. You can't cross-check someone in the face. I don't care how pissed you are. It doesn't belong in hockey.
I'm just with how the league has been going recently, where they've been all over head injuries and headshots. I could see the NHL trying to use this as an example against McDavid, and maybe could they have talked about before? In that sense, that it's a brutal, and you gotta use the top player as an example of like you can't do this. This is a no.
You have to look at
Like
it 2 ways. McDavid not playing for 3 games is literally lost revenue for the NHL. I'm not saying it's a lot, but how many
but
people tune in to watch McDavid?
so so you're saying McDavid's more likely to get exempt from suspensions because of the NHL's revenue.
No, I'm saying they're not going to use him to make an example. They're going to give him the proper suspension, regardless of his star status, but they're not going to make it longer to be like, oh no, don't do this. This is really bad.
I I feel like if they're trying to make an impact, they gotta step up, and they have with other suspensions. Now, I'm not arguing saying 3 is the wrong call. I just I think there's just inconsistencies. As like there's inconsistencies. Like you got the Jonathan Bergeron one on Dwar. That one was not even
That
that wasn't even a scuffle that led to that. That was Bergeron saying, "Hey, get away from the front of my net." Dwar saying,
you
"No,
do have to keep in mind, they do get a chance to explain themselves. They get to talk to the player safety department. They have their agent with them. They have an NHL PA representative with them as well.
I
So
thought that was only for the situations where they have hearings. So if they're expected to get 5 or more, like in the case of like the
they can
Riley
have phone
situation."
hearings, they can have in-person hearings, and
Mhm.
they can also have video call hearings in place of in-person. Um,
I
but
thought they only really do that for major suspensions.
did Bergeron not have any sort of hearing?
I don't think, not that I remember. I remember it happened,
Okay.
and then the next day it was announced that he got basically like a $2,200 fine,
Well,
2184 or something like that.
it's not quite as bad as the McDavid or the Myers one, and it wasn't as high profile either. Not saying that should
No,
affect it, but that
for
could be
me,
part of the reasoning.
it's the like McDavid and Garland. That situation was like a boiling over point where they're fighting. It should have been broken up. They're fighting. They kept going. It just built and built and built until it reached that point. My point is the Bergeron one wasn't as like you couldn't foresee that one coming. It was just kind of, hey, go away. No. Okay, well eat this. Bang. And he got him in the face. That's the part that I don't necessarily agree with on that one. I feel like a fine in that one could have been I in my opinion, I think Bergeron got off lucky a little bit on that one.
Maybe he did. It was a cross check that ended up finishing it in the head region, so
Mm-hmm.
maybe he did get lucky.
But I don't know. Maybe 3 games is the right call, but yeah, you, you can't hand out different suspensions to either one of them, which they obviously they're well aware and made that decision. But yeah, I mean I don't know what happened that led to the Tyler Myers one. Was that the same sort of situation?
Not even close. They were not wrestling or pushing each other. Bouchard skated up to him and presumably was saying something. And as Bouchard got up, Myers just right to the
Clock him.
face. Yeah.
So do you think that situation could warrant maybe a situation where it wasn't as a result of a scuffle? It wasn't as a result of boiling over emotions from a battle.
Well, Myers and Bouchard were the only ones not in that scrum. They were watching it, and Bouchard skating up to Myers. I mean, you're skating up to start something. You're not skating up to hold hands. So,
What if he
not
was?
saying he should have been prepared for that, but you're not skating up to be his friend. You're gonna go start shoving and pushing or something.
What if he was just going to say, "Hey man, how's it going? Hey,
Who
how's the trade
knows?
deadline coming?" What if
There
he was?
actually haven't been a lot of suspensions this season. Just looking at it.
There was a little bit of a flurry in that like late November time frame.
Well, you have Matt Steinberg suspended for charging October 31st for a couple games. And then, yes, Tanner Jeannot, Ryan Reeves, and Timo Meyer all in the span of November 8th to November 26th.
Okay,
So,
sorry, mid to late November.
Jeannot, 3
And then,
games for illegal check to the head of Besser.
mhm.
Reeves, 5 games for that check to Darnell Nurse. And then Meyer cross-checking Zachary, I'm going to butcher his last name, but Le Hero for he
Leroux,
got 1 game.
I think it is something like that. That's like L apostrophe H. That
Yes,
one, yeah,
yes.
yeah. I think it's Leroux or something. Yeah, we're not even going to claim that we know the pronunciation of that one.
Nope. Well,
That's a
will not.
no, but
But
yeah, it does seem like it's been a little bit more tame. But
that might be a result of the league cracking down the past few years. Maybe players are taking that into consideration. I mean, any player not named Matt Rempe
who also
boarding and
got
elbowing 8 games.
jeez.
He did say he's going to lighten up though and try not to get it suspended again.
I'm gonna
Oh,
do my best.
great. So Zachary Laharo got suspended for 3 games for slew footing Spurgeon. I actually remember seeing that. Like that was deserved.
So
Maxim.
I don't remember. I never saw that replay. But when I hear slew footing, it brings me back to last season or the season before, whenever it was, when Brad Marchand slew footed Timothy Liljegren and put him out for a significant amount of time. And then he skated right by the Leafs bench, and everybody just put their heads down and ignored him. It, like, how does that go unpunished? But then this Leroux does get suspended,
I'd have
and
to see
Marchand.
the Marchand video honestly, because I don't quite remember it, so it might not have been as bad.
So I remember this one, and I'll explain it as best I can. Marchand and Liljegren were going in shoulder to shoulder towards the corner where the puck was. Marchand was like slipped a little bit behind him, and then he stuck his stick underneath Liljegren's foot, like right behind it, and flung it forward. So he basically went straight foot first, right into the boards.
Okay.
I can't remember if he broke his ankle or if he sprained his ankle, but he had an injury that kept him out about a month, and he got nothing for
Okay.
that one. And like our buddy Guy, pointed out in our group chat that McDavid's been suspended and Matthews has been suspended, but no Marchand.
That is true.
How does he keep getting away from it? To that point, remember at the All-Star game in Toronto, Marchand, there's that clip. Have you seen it where
Here.
Marchand was talking with the referee, and the referee said, "Hey, I might call a penalty on you. I'd probably get a standing ovation." And then they
Yes.
skate or something like that, and they skate away laughing. It's like Marchand's known for being this dirty, borderline, like, should be suspended every other game type player for the stuff that he pulls. And
Okay,
he
biased
always gets
Leafs
away with it.
fan. It's not that bad.
It's not that bad, but it's pretty bad. Like, he gets away
He's
with a
been clean
lot.
enough as of late. He hasn't licked people in a while.
Okay, licking's not a suspension.
Okay, let's
Yes.
get back on topic. Maxim, Splechov of the Islanders, legal check to the head, Ryan Poling, 3 games. And then we have McDavid and Myers now. So honestly, not bad.
I wish we could pull up a stat just to show a comparable year over year, like this point to up till last season, what the suspensions are like. Like how many suspensions, how many fines, and like how many total games. I'll
Well,
be honest, I
total
wouldn't know where to
games
look that.
this year is 58 games. By the way, McDavid's forfeiting $195,000 in salary for those 3 games.
He'll make that up in his signing bonus or his next endorsement deal.
In
He's fine.
comparison, Myers is losing $46,000. Oh, the difference.
That's like half my annual salary. No,
McDavid's 3
whether it
games
is
is
or not,
ridiculous.
I can't say. That's like I don't even like.
Anyway,
I don't even think Matt Rempe's will reach that with his 8-game suspension.
yeah, he's only at 80,000.
Yeah. So okay. So
Yeah.
a little bit less than double. But my point, like you see my point, though, is like Rempe suspended for 8 games is 80,000. McDavid suspended. Sorry. No, sorry. Myers was a little bit less than half of his total suspension forfeitures.
Yep.
But it's like McDavid loses $150,000.
Oh, he'll be just fine. One commercial and he'll have millions in his pocket.
His $100
Anyway,
million
to sum
signing
up
bonus
the
on his next contract.
yeah, to sum up the suspensions, I don't have any problem with them. I could argue for 2, but I'm happy with 3. Maybe he'll be signed to all the other players. Don't cross-check to the head. Simple as that.
I'll go and say it's fair. It's fair, but
Yeah, league, the safety department got it right, so kudos to them.
if this is the standard going forward.
Yes, Mr. Complainer. Now, this is more of a funny thing more than anything, but Arbor Jacki and Ryan Reeves. And maybe I'll let you say this since you're the Leafs fan. You'll get a lot of enjoyment out of it.
Oh, I already have. I saw a meme where it had like a toddler laying in his bed sleeping with a big wide smile on his face and said Leafs fans after that Saturday night game against Montreal. So
Yeah.
So Leafs are coming into this game on a 1-game winning streak after losing 3 in a row. Now, that's also following up a 5-game winning streak where they really did not look good in them. So they're coming into this game. It's Hockey Night in Canada. Like, they need to have a good, strong performance in this game, especially against the Montreal Canadiens, who are still the Montreal Canadiens, just hot Montreal Canadiens.
Yeah.
But that's a team, no matter how hot they are, that's a team you still need to beat night in, night out. And they came out flatter than
A pancake.
something. Yeah, flatter than a pancake. It was a horrible first period. I wasn't watching the game at this point because I was busy cooking some fish that I had caught that day, and flaying and cooking some fish I caught that day, which was really nice. But yeah, I looked at the game, saw it was 1-0, and then very quickly became 3-0. And then I turned on the game just in time to see the Ryan Reeves challenging Arbor Jacki, or Wi-Fi they like to call him. Is that Cinder under the table?
No, I was just moving my camera bag.
Oh. So Arbor Jacki not only refuses to fight Ryan Reeves. This would have been Ryan Reeves' first fight of the year. He fought tonight against where is it? Matthew Olivier tonight.
Oh yes, I saw that. That was a good fight.
Yeah, my internet decided to cut out after the first 4 punches. But so anyway, Ryan Reeves offers a fight to Arbor Jacki. What does Arbor Jacki do? Scoreboard, bud. Look at the scoreboard. And he's pointing up to the scoreboard. Oh, did that not age well at all?
Yeah, it really did not. The Leafs go on to score 7 straight goals against the Habs, completely blowing them out.
Including a 5-goal third period. Like the Leafs were still down, leading in or starting the third period. They're still down by a goal, and it got ugly very quickly for the Montreal Canadiens. Do you think it would have been the same result if Arbor Jacki actually fought him? Because Ryan Reeves, he's getting older. He's still got it when it comes to fisticuffs.
No doubt about that. But honestly, I don't think much would have changed there.
Like, if you're Ryan Reeves, that's your role on this team. I got to get my team fired up. I got to get that energy going. We are flatter than pancake. We are playing like garbage. Now it's my turn to do something. Hey, big boy, let's go. No, scoreboard. Oh, really?
Yeah.
And that's basically how you can sum it up perfectly. Oh, really?
I'm sure that was some motivation for them. But regardless, I think that fight gets them going too. And someone said some wise words in that first intermission and second intermission. So, and by wise words, I mean words that I won't say on broadcast.
Like, you mean probably coming from a certain man nicknamed Chief? Mr. Craig Berube, the guy who looks like an Easter Island figure, like chiseled out of stone. Like, that is a mean looking face. You don't want to see that one frowning at you. Like, just his face alone is scary. And then you look at what he did in his NHL career.
I was just gonna bring that up.
And as a Leafs player, even Ryan Reeves is probably like soiling his pants when Berube's upset.
Well, Berube played 1,054 NHL games. How many penalty minutes do you think he had?
You said 1,054?
Yeah.
1,600-ish.
About double that. 3,149. Yeah.
That's a lot of pins.
For the record, he looked scary when he was younger too.
Yeah. That's not a face that you want to see looking at you mean.
Nope.
That was
I'm pretty sure he just has mean. I don't think he has a happy setting. I think he always wants to scare you a little bit. But anyway,
I feel like even his laugh would be like I am gonna kill you kind of look on his face.
Maybe.
Like, you made me laugh and I don't like it.
But good job to the Leafs, and Montreal can suck it. That situation's a win-win for me. Either Montreal gets blown out by the Habs, or the Habs get blown out by Montreal.
Gets blown out by the Habs.
Oh, you know what I mean. Montreal gets blown up
Montreal
by the
gets blown
Leafs.
up by the Habs, or the Habs get blown up by Montreal. Sorry, that was
I'm
funny.
tired. It's been a long day.
Yeah, it.
But yes,
I hear you. I had to
there
fall
is something
asleep
for
because I was put my
bloopers.
daughter down.
But
No,
we got
no,
some
I
sort
agree.
of
As for you as a Sens fan, we
we
got
got
some
some
sort
sort of
of
action. So JT
action.
Miller is looking like the one that will be traded. I
Miller time.
Yeah, I love this decision. You know, if you have to trade one, Miller is the one to trade. He is 31. According to Dave, he is a bit of an ass and not good in the locker room.
I don't put it
So,
that way. I put it as maybe he's rough around the edges and comes across in a negative way to his peers.
a synonym for
That's how
that
I
would
would put it.
be Miller's an
And
ass.
can cause some hostilities. Well,
Miller's
I
an
just didn't want to
ass.
use that word.
Well, now I've used it 3 times.
Okay. He's not a very nice
So
guy.
we have
But he was
Pedersen
like,
signed at 11.6 mil until 2032.
yes.
We have JT Miller signed
Okay.
at 8 mil until 2030.
And JT Miller, he hasn't been doing great lately. Like he's
Yeah,
not putting up a lot in the last like 13, 14 games.
he's not honestly that
And
bad.
what we see in the media about that situation between him and Pedersen,
Hello? You there?
sorry, hold on. I think I might be here.
Yeah, you're frozen.
Apparently,
Okay.
pulling up TSN's website is slowing me down. But sorry, he's been pretty lackluster this season. So like in the most recent parts of the season.
Compared to what we've seen before, yes. But overall, like it's not bad. You know, 1 assist last game, 2 assists before. Then there's a 5 game stretch with nothing. Obviously not good. But before that, he had 2 goals, 2 assists, nothing, an assist, 2 assists,
Mm-hmm.
an assist. Like he's not bad. It's just he's not the JT Miller we expect. You know, he's put up 32 points in 36 games this year compared to his 103-point season last year. So it's just not the same level.
No, not at all. And to be honest, Pedersen's not exactly living up to that $1 million contract. He's got 30 and 40. Like he's
Now,
like for signing an $11 million contract. That's you better be a Jonathan Taves on the back end of that, which I mean he's not bad, but he's not the best defensively.
well, I
And,
got a little
and
anecdote for that. Um, he was making some
anecdotally,
real good defensive plays, and his teammates were chanting Selkie on the bench.
no, like that's what I'm saying. Like he's good defensively, but he's not like Jonathan Taves shut down. Like
No, like
you're
if I
not
go
scoring
to
on
Jay
him.
Fresh here and take a look at his card, I don't think it's going to be that good. I think he's just starting to work on the defensive side of his game. So, Mr. Jay Fresh.
Like you look at comparables. So
My
like
guess is he has like a probably 70 some percent D. Not even.
that
So, March 2nd, 2024, that's when this card's from. He's at 54%.
he's been better since. But you look at like comparables at that 11 million range. Like Matthews has had Selkie votes, and he's had also 69 goals in the season. You look at what Nylander and Marner are doing right now. They're both at like that $11 million range, and they're both on the penalty kill. They're both on the power play now. At least power play has been rough this season,
Yes.
but you know what I mean. Like you see what I'm saying. Like Pedersen, if you're
I
not scoring and you're not penalty killing. Why? Like, what's this 11 million for? Like,
I want
the
to
one
point
thing you
out.
should be doing is putting up 90, 100 points a season at $11 million.
I want to point out one thing. During
Okay,
the
point it
stretch
out.
that Miller was gone, he lit it up. And I mean, he lit it up
Yeah,
so much better. But to your point, you should be putting 90, 100 points up. Last year he had 89. The year before he had 102.
and this season he's on what, 65-ish?
Give or take, yeah.
40 times 82.
It's just under,
Yeah,
but
61, 62 points.
yeah.
You better be like better than Alexander Barkov on defense if you're only putting up 61 points, making 11 million.
Yes, I agree, but I think they trade Miller and he lights it up. One Miller trade that almost happened. So it was going to be Miller to the Rangers in exchange for Philip Hedl, Ryan Lindgren, and a first round pick. Now, I've heard two different things as to why this didn't go through. There was also a prospect possibly in there, but I've heard one thing being they could not agree on the protection of the first round pick. The Canucks wanted it unprotected, the Rangers wanted it top 10 or top 5, and the Canucks didn't go for it. The other thing I heard kind of discounted that, and the issue was the Rangers wanted the Canucks to retain money, and the Canucks did not want to retain, which makes sense. If you're going to trade that player, you want to free up that full $8 million.
Yeah, but you're also bringing in Philip Hedl's contract. You're bringing in Ryan Lindgren's contract. Now, I don't know exactly what they are, but you're still bringing, like, chances are you're still probably bringing in money on that.
Oh, you're definitely bringing in money. And one thing I noticed out looking, Lindgren is a free agent at the end of the season. So they need to get him re-signed or flip him immediately. So he's signed to a $4.5 million deal. And
Lindgren.
yes, Philip Hedl is signed to a 4.4. So they need an extra.
So New York is basically saying we want to basically offload $11 million in cap here.
Where the hell did you get 11 mil?
Because they're offloading 8 million, but they're also wanting Vancouver to retain, which I'm assuming is not going to be $500,000.
Okay, actually, fair point.
So the net on that is probably about 11, 12 million. Like, even if you're retaining 30%, that's still 2.5 million ish.
Vancouver is 3.6 right now, and the Rangers have $11 million in cap space. Like, they're not hurting for space.
So are they trying to sign, like, are they trying to scrap Shesterkin's contract and be like, here's 20 million?
Keep this in mind, though. I'll say this. So next season, they are going to need to re-sign, not Riley Smith, I bet he's gone, but Will Cooley, 22-year-old, doing great this season, scoring goals. They picked up Kaliev. Sorry?
I said the only one on that team that is.
Yeah, apparently. They picked up Kaliev off waivers. Good pickup. He's not going to be expensive, but they still need to re-sign him. Whatever Matt Rempe is worth, they need to re-sign him.
A mill.
But the other big one, Ryan Lindgren. He's a good top 4 guy, and he's a left shot, 26 years old. I'm sure that man's going to want an 8-year deal. So they actually have to re-sign most of their decor. They have Andre Miller to re-sign.
That's going to be a few.
They actually only have 2 defensemen under contract for next year.
Adam Fox and I'm going to say Miller. Or sorry, Schneider.
Yep. So they have some work to do.
I'm not actually looking at their. I'm guessing you're on Puckpedia.
Yep, the new cap friendly.
Yeah, I was looking at TSN. I'm on TSN just looking at. I was looking up Will Cooley's stats. He's 13 goals, 13 assists in 47 games.
Not
So
bad
not
for a
bad.
22-year-old.
He did start off very hot though.
Yeah, he did. I picked
He
him up in
started
fantasy.
yeah, he like in the Tim's picks, he was a darling at the start of the season. Oh yes, Matthews scored, so I got something tonight
Nice.
in a 5-1 loss again to the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Oof. The latest chatter I've heard with Miller
Miller time.
is the Hurricanes are the destination for him to go.
The
I,
Hurricanes.
the Hurricanes, I've seen it reported a few times. It's just what are
It
the
makes
Hurricanes going to give up? Because the Canucks don't want a simple, here's some futures for him. They need to fix now. They need to replace him.
their
So,
their season's kind of fallen off a bit. I would be surprised if they're. I wouldn't be surprised if they're not sellers. Like I'd be
who?
surprised if Vancouver. Their
It's
season
not
is
what
struggling.
they want, though. Regardless of if they fell off, they believe getting Miller out and bringing in another piece is going to fix it. So
They
ideally,
have
if
the
you're a GM, you
goaltending.
want to do that in one transaction. You don't want to get, here's some futures, prospects, some
Mhm.
roster players, but no star, and then have to flip those guys for a star because that's much harder.
But you're also trading for a 31-year-old JT Miller.
You
Like if he
are,
was
but
25, he's got a lot more value. But
at this point, you can still use the leverage of it. You put up 103 points last season. Maybe you admit to some stuff going on that he just needs a change of scenery and he's going to do great. So the
then
piece
you're
I
Carolina.
heard potentially going back is Jesperi Kotkaniemi, or one of the pieces.
I was gonna say he was obviously a very big contract. He was a very big prospect for the Montreal Canadiens, and then he signed that offer sheet as kind of like a you tried to do this to me, I'm going to do it to you kind of deal.
Yes, exactly. They
But
did it with Aho,
and
and then, yeah.
yeah, but he hasn't panned out really.
He
So like
hasn't
it would
been
be like a
great.
for what he was supposed to be, like what for the type of player he was projected to be, he hasn't lived up to that yet.
No, at this point, he's 24 and he's like a third, second line center. This season he has 22 points in 48 games, so nothing to laugh at. That's roughly a 40-point pace, but still, he's not
He's
a star.
he's a mid-range second, high range third line player on
But,
on a bad team, on a good team.
my thought here is if they trade and they get him and they get whatever other pieces, they immediately flip them for someone else.
Like you're saying Vancouver would be flipping Kotkaniemi.
Yeah, because I don't see him as a solution. You are, even though Miller's issues and, sorry, Pedersen's had issues,
Mm.
you're still shipping out a star. You're shipping out someone who put up 100 points for you last season. So if you go and put Kotkaniemi as your second line center, that doesn't work. So you need to bring someone else into that top six, whether they play center or wing. It doesn't matter that much because I believe Garland and Suter both played center before. That's who I see right now in
Garland
their
and Suter.
second line top six. So you bring in another skilled forward that's available,
Do you maybe
and
hope that Dakota Joshua takes a step in his career, and hopefully maybe he could slip in?
that's a lot. It's a lot to ask.
It's been
I
done
think he's
before.
actually out injured right now.
He's
Let me
always
check.
injured.
Yeah, he's out injured. Um,
He's always injured.
but if you look at the trade bait list, let's see if we can identify what sort of target would make sense. So TSN's trade bait. Pedersen's at the top. Miller's actually tied for number one with Pedersen. Clear objective here. One of them is going to go. We don't know which. So,
Well, if they
Brock
both
Nelson,
go,
he'd fill the slot, but he's 33. It's not a long-term fix for Vancouver, and they do have a younger core.
no. But like Brock Nelson, his contract's up to the end of the year, right? I believe.
Yes, he will be a UFA.
He's probably not going to stay in Vancouver. Like they're right now, Vancouver's basically deciding: do we want to go for it? Can we go for it, or should we try and retool for the next couple of seasons? Like they've had a lot going on. Like they've had lots of injuries. They had a flu bug going through while they're on the road. Still managed to beat Toronto 3-0 on the back end of the back-to-back with travel. Sorry, did I say that out loud?
A little bit, but I don't think anyone's really complaining.
Yeah, there's probably one person watching this that's like, yeah, eat it, Leaf fans.
Honestly, looking at the trade bait board, we don't usually see a bunch of young stars on the board, like Pedersen's an oddity here. But they might have to go hunting in a different way, just go for someone that's not necessarily on the block. Because I don't see much here besides temporary fixes or, actually, I see one that would be a gamble, but if it paid off. Sorry?
Like a Stamkos?
No, Dylan Cousins of Buffalo. He signed that $7.1 million contract. He has 5 years left.
You think that's a 1-for-1, or do you think there's a draft pick going to Buffalo for that?
I don't think Vancouver's trading with Buffalo at all in the initial trade. I think they trade Miller. I've seen a lot of buzz around the Hurricanes. So they do that, and they trade whatever they get to Buffalo. Right now, Cousins hasn't done good. He has 21 points in 42 games.
On the Buffalo Sabres.
Yes, exactly. On the Buffalo Sabres. And, maybe they're worried about a Jack Eichel situation or a Sam Reinhart situation. But
or an Evan
if they
Rodriguez
trade
situation.
Sorry?
Or an Evan Rodriguez situation.
Yeah.
Let's do that next episode. Go through all of the players that they have had on their team in the last 6 years who have gone on to win Stanley Cups with other teams.
Ryan O'Reilly. But
yeah,
that's. I don't know if we could cover that in an episode. That's a lot. He's 23. This kid can still develop a little bit more, and he is all of a sudden on a team that doesn't have a huge cloud over them like Buffalo. Team with a little bit of a better spirit.
They get a crap ton of snow every single year. Their taxes are high in Buffalo. Their team is junk, and the owner has come in and said the answer is in this room. Nobody's happy playing there right now.
Keep in mind,
there's a reason why they went on a 13-game losing streak.
Yeah. Cousins put up 68 points in 81 games 2 years ago.
As a 21-year-old?
Yeah. Last season, he put up 47 and 79. That's after signing the big deal. And there's just more that could come. There's just something else there.
I think the
it's
trades.
A gamble.
There's gonna be a lot of trades that are like just trades in general. I think there's gonna be a lot happening right after the Four Nations Cup. I think that's
no one wants to make a trade before that, and especially for a player in that tournament, have them get injured and then be screwed. So it's going to be a busy trade deadline this year. Not that it isn't every year, but It's going to be busy.
It's going to be a good one. I
But
want to see what the Leafs can do to pick up a third line center. Now, Pontus Holmberg has been playing better as of recently, but his season has still been rough. He's not a third line center.
may I suggest a Ryan O'Reilly?
He does not want to come to Toronto, you know that.
Okay, fine. May I
He
suggest...
the Leafs offered him a contract, the same contract that he was going to get in Nashville, and he straight up blamed two reasons why he's going to Nashville. And I can't blame him for this. Media, and taxes. $4 million in Nashville is worth more than $5 million in Toronto, and he doesn't have to deal with all the BS. Where, just like I'll bring it up like I did a few episodes ago with Drew Doughty saying, I will never play for the Toronto Maple Leafs because he can go out for dinner and people will think, oh, there's a well-dressed man. And then he puts on his quote, Doughty. Oh, that's Doughty. In Toronto,
you think Doughty's going to be well-dressed?
No, but you know what I mean? Like,
yes.
Like, he can go out for dinner and be able to be like, oh, enjoy your dinner. Who are you? And then we're in Toronto, like, he'd probably have to have his blinds closed if he wants to get up in the middle of the night to go to the washroom without pictures.
I think he's fine.
No, you know what I'm saying. Like,
yes, there's a big difference. You know, if you're a hockey player in Canada, especially in Toronto, you're going to get a lot more attention than you would in LA.
Yeah,
or most other cities.
Some players aren't cut out for that. Like, Doughty is definitely not want to do that. Ryan O'Reilly wants no part of that. Two guys that are not bad hockey players that don't want to deal with that, and it's not for everybody.
It's fair. Now, speaking of additions that the Leafs could make, we should talk a little bit about the playoff race.
In the East, it's tight.
The East is a complete shit show, like we've said all season, basically. So I'm including Tampa in this now. Tampa is sitting third in the Atlantic with 53 points. The Jackets are sitting in the first wild card with 53 points. The Sens are in the second wild card with 52. Then the Canadiens and the Bruins are both at 52. The Rangers and the Flyers are both at 50.
Oh, TSN hasn't updated after the Columbus win yet.
Pens are at 48. Wings are at 47. Islanders are at 45. The most separation we have, really, in between two teams beside each other in the standings are the Sabres at 41 and the Islanders at 45. And then Tampa at 53, Florida at 59.
You look at a 3-game winning streak could literally jump you from 7 spots out of the playoff race into the wild card spot.
Yeah. Actually, I should mention Carolina at 61 points, Caps at 69. Nice. And I'm going to shit on Ottawa a little bit here. Last night they played the Rangers. They had 52 points. They got blown out 5-0. Rangers now sit 2 points back of them. If they had won that game in regulation, they would have been 6 points ahead of the Rangers and in the third spot in the Atlantic.
Oh, I know. I picked Tim Stützle last night.
Oh, same.
Thank you.
You too.
Who did
one good thing came out of that game.
What came out of that game?
Crashed the net. Got pushed into Shesterkin by some Rangers players. Shesterkin fell down. A scrum ensued. Shesterkin wasn't too happy about it. Went over and threw a couple shots at Kachuk. Threw a couple of shots back, and Shesterkin sat down. Literally. Just sat down on the ice after that. Right next to the scrum.
I don't have anything to do with this anymore.
Well.
So, sorry, I was about to pick Tim Stützle. I didn't. That is who I picked last night. Miller.
Besser. Saucy.
And Carson Soucy. My picks have not been good recently. I've been picking good players. So right now I'm on a 1, 2, 3, 4 day streak before tonight when I got Matthews. I didn't get Bobby McMahon, but I still have hopes for my third and Nikolai Ehlers. But like
That's a good one. That's a good
my
third pick.
my picks have been good. Like I have JT Miller and Brock Besser from last night. Those are my top two picks there. Kyle Connor the night before and Cole Perfetti from from Monday night. And then before that, I had Matt Duchene, Jamie Benn, and Sam Steele.
Why did you pick Miller? You just talked about how he hasn't scored goals in a while.
Because part of me's thinking, you know what, he can't stay on this bad streak forever.
That's not how you pick that. You pick the hot
Good,
guy. You always
good
pick the
play,
hot streak.
good players, good players find a way. That's why. And on top of that, they're playing Buffalo.
Yes, it's Buffalo. I know.
Yes, so
But
picking Brock Besser and JT Miller in that because Pedersen wasn't available for me, but picking those two players, guys, like two great goal scorers against one of the worst teams in the league. You're telling me that should not be a shoe-in? That's a
I'm
damn
telling
good.
you, if someone's not scoring goals, it doesn't matter what team they play against. We'll snap out of it at some point for the most part, but you can't just guarantee it's going to be good because they're playing the Buffalo Sabres. That's why you always go with the players on hot streaks. And speaking of players on hot streaks, Austin Matthews has been good
You got one
as of
tonight.
late. He now has goals in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 straight, so that gives him 6 goals in 5 games.
I think it's
And if we
9
extend
and 10
this,
now. Since return from injury, I think he's got 9 and 10.
what did he return? When did he return? January 4th?
I believe so. I think there was the stat that I saw before tonight was 8 and 9. So now it's got to be 9 and 10.
Yeah, so we'll say 4th. So he's
He's
done pretty
scoring
good.
like over the last the
9 and
last
10
10
would be
games.
correct.
He's scoring at like a 72 goal pace right now, which is higher than his previous season total.
Okay, I'm gonna throw this at you. Is there any chance he can come back and compete for the Calder? Or sorry, not Calder, Rocket.
If we turn back the clock, honestly, it's Austin Matthews. He's one of the best goal scorers in the league for a reason. You can't count him out, especially if the Leafs get hot. And he's also playing alongside of Mitch Marner, who's got 52 assists. He's second in the league. Marner's second in the league in assists, by the way.
Impressive.
Only second to Nathan McKinnon, who has 56.
Of course. Yes.
And so that's like Marner's having a career year right now. He's currently sitting fourth in scoring, in points behind McKinnon at 74, Draisaitl at 71, Kucherov at 70, and then it's Marner at 67. He's ahead of Connor McDavid right now.
Okay, Dave.
So
back to the question.
I'm saying with a playmaker like that, if the Leafs power play can get going, you can't count it out, but you're also looking at Draisaitl having it or taking a dive.
Yeah, Matthews has 19, Draisaitl has 34,
20
and
as a
we
team.
are over halfway through the season, so it is a considerable gap.
Considerable, but I mean, how many hat tricks did he have last season?
You could say the same about Draisaitl. How many multi-goal games did he have? I mean, he's at 34 and 47, which is phenomenal. He already has 71 points.
Mm-hmm.
That is mind-blowing.
He's a plus 27. But you can't count out Matthews, but he'd have to go at a ridiculous rate.
Yeah.
Like even
he really would.
And Draisaitl would probably have to get hurt. So like Draisaitl right now is scoring at a 59 goal pace. Matthews which he's not going to continue this 9-10 streak. That's not sustainable even for a guy like Austin
No,
Matthews.
he has 19 and 33 games this year, so we'll see.
It's now 20-34, but
True.
his last 10 is also 9-10. So if you look at the Leafs have played 48 games, so they got what was that 36 games left? Oh, sorry, 34 games left. So if you do like a 10 games times 34, he could put up 30 more points, which still doesn't, which would put him on the projection, on their current projections. That would put him nine goals behind Draisaitl.
If he stays at his current pace.
If he stays at his current pace in 9-10.
Yeah,
So that's why
not
it's not going
happening.
to happen. That's why it's not going to
Okay.
happen. And Brain Points also got the best shooting percentage at 20, almost, what was it? 20, almost 28% shooting still.
That is ridiculous.
Unsustainable. I believe you said in like one of the first few episodes.
It
It's
is. Like,
been
I mean,
it's been sustainable.
you can have a good year where you shoot like that, but like long term, you do not see that. The rare
No,
exception,
no.
and the only exception I can think of would be Sam Reinhart. If you look at his shooting percentage this year and last year, it's really high. Like if I pull up Mr. Reinhart here. So Reinhardt this year is shooting at 22%, 22.2.
Yeah.
And last year was 24.5, up from a 13.7 the year before. It's just an insane increase.
Yeah. So Braden Point's career average has been 18.93%. Last year was his before this year, last year was his second highest shooting percentage at 20.26. The year before that was 21.7. But then you look at the 21 and the 2020, 2021 season, and the 21-22 season, 17.6 and 15.9% respectively. Like he's coming into his own as an NHL player. Like he's 28 years old. He's in his prime. Maybe this is sustainable for a few years, but that's kind of what I mean. Like it's like you got him doing that currently, and no, I was right there with you when you said it's not sustainable. I didn't think 33% was sustainable.
Yeah, you
Every
don't
three shots is
think
a
it
goal.
is, but
He's doing it. That's the crazy part.
I just want to point out one last thing before we wrap it up here. Moving on from that. Logan Thompson has been phenomenal, and he deserves a shout out.
Oh, Logan
The man
Thompson.
that should be on the Team Canada roster, but for some reason, he's not. We could have the goalie that has the second most wins in the league, one of the best save percentages, one of the best goals against average. But no, let's not.
No, we're gonna have Mr. Hot and Cold or Icy Mr. We'll call him Mr. Icy Hot, aka Sam Montembeau with the Montreal Canadiens.
M.
We'll call him Icy
Bennington.
Hot.
Honestly, can someone just go and injure one of those guys? Nothing major, just something minor to keep them out of the tournament and then have them be healthy by the time they have to play again. And have Thompson come in, emergency
Just,
call in.
just tweak through it. Like, make him step on a puck.
Honestly, I
Oh,
believe Talbot's in there. If I'm Talbot, he's old, old by NHL standards. Oh, my back, I can't play. Take one for the team.
I've fallen and I can't get up. Yeah, like Logan Thompson, it's holy jumping. Like he's got 26 starts this season, 22 wins, 2 losses, 3 OTL losses.
Yeah.
Like that guy is a brick wall. Not Joseph Wall. He's a brick wall.
There's only two goalies that have a better save percentage than him. Stolarz with 17 games played and Hellebuck with 37 games played.
Mm-hmm.
Only one goalie with a better goals against, Hellebuck. But it's just, I don't understand the thought as to why he wasn't selected.
It's just like Swayman still being on Team USA. Like, you're looking at the previous years, Swayman has been a stud the last few years. But he's not having a great season this year. He's been a little bit better recently, but he's not having a great season. But he's still on that Team USA because it's what he can be. Logan Thompson wasn't really on their radar recently.
He should have been, though. There was no reason for him not to be. Like, Montembeault has an 8.99 this season. What the hell is he doing? Binnington has an 8.98. Like, I don't understand the logic.
Like, Thompson's career stats, like, he hasn't been putting up starter numbers. Like, he was with Vegas, on Vegas last 4 years, he's been 925, which is good, but over, again, 26, sorry, that's this year. 908, 908 in over 46 in 25, 14, 5. 915 over 37. 914. So, like, he's been steady. Like, he's been steady, but it's not like he's been that starting goalie. He's been
that starter material.
It's starter material, but he's been
down year there. And I'm not saying he was a star before, but I'm saying he was still the obvious choice. Like, there's no way in hell they should have taken Montembeault.
I think Team Canada
Montembeault had this is his history. Don't include this year. Although they did have some sample size to go off of this year when they made the selections. But 903, 901, 891, like, what are you selecting him for?
Hockey Canada loves their guys.
Clearly, World Juniors roster.
Exactly.
Binnington, I can see an argument for. He had a good season last year, and the year before was bad, but this year's been bad.
His first year in the NHL, he came out of nowhere and won the cup with a team that was dead last at trade deadline, halfway through the season.
Before we wrap this up, I'm going to tell a funny story about Binnington. So this is from Brodeur. When Brodeur was in St. Louis helping out in whatever role, they were going to send Binnington down. And he told Binnington. Binnington looked at him and went, no. And Brodeur thought he was joking. He's like, so yeah, you're going to go down. And he goes, yeah, no, I'm staying. Just serious.
No, I'm staying.
And Brodeur didn't know what to do. So he went back to the GM. And the GM's like, what? But he didn't go down. He ended up staying because he said no.
Hey, it worked. It worked.
But
I still love that clip where there's a line scuffle and Bennington's in his crease and then Fleury comes up the ice going, hey. And he starts yelling at Bennington. Bennington just looks like he's starting to freak out. And he's throwing his gloves, his helmet everywhere, wanting to fight Fleury. And the refs are dragging Fleury back. And Fleury's like, come on, we'll get the fans going. It'll be fun. Let's do it. Come on. Let me go. And Bennington's like ready to fight, but he's getting like hauled down to the ice. Like he's starting to go ballistics because he wants every piece of that. Yeah. And Fleury's just like all kind of like, hey, come on. Let's give the fans a show. Come on, let us go. Come on. And Bennington's like, get me out. Let me out. Like, hold me back. I'm going to get him.
I'm going to correct myself, by the way. Talbot was not selected. It's Aiden Hill. My bad.
I thought so.
But still, 901 this season. Now, 909 the year before, 915 before that. So I can understand that selection. But Montembeault is the real outlier here that should not have been selected over Thompson. And I bet Vegas is kicking themselves in the ass for trading Thompson now, considering their goaltending situation.
Hey, they got rid of Fleury too.
They
Vegas is
did.
cutthroat.
They traded Thompson for, let's see, third round picks, 2 of them,
Yay.
and potential Vesna candidate. I mean, at this rate, Hellebuck's gonna win it, but you know,
I mean, they're trading away Logan Thompson because Aiden Hill came in and won the cup with them, but
bad choice.
they replaced him with Samsonov.
That's part of the issue, but Aiden Hill's the other part. Anyways,
To paraphrase Dumb and Dumber, Tommy Thompson. Oh, Samsonov! I was way off.
yeah.
Yeah, a paraphrasing joke from this guy over here.
Anyway, this has been episode 12 of Grublets on Ice. I hope you all enjoyed. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff.
Comment, we'll feature it, and we will respond, and we will make it
Didn't have any comment on the last episode, so
come on. Even if you just want to make fun of me, just roast me or something.
You can roast Dave. I'm cool with that.
Roast it. I'm good with it. Bring it.
He really is. I do it all the time.
Yeah. See, straight from him. Just like, well,
anyway,
recently I've been roasting you about your foot going through the hole when we went ice fishing.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to live that one down, but I'm fine with that.
Did I share it last time with my other buddy? Who did I share that story?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That one was funny. That one was a lot more dangerous. That one was funny.
Very much so. But anyway, on that note, everyone have a good day. Good night.
My brother brought it up this past weekend. This is going back like a decade and a half now. For my 21st birthday, my parents took us all out ice fishing on it's just like a man-made lake out in Orangeville. We were going pike fishing, and my sister they have it's the M&R that runs it. They have like ice huts out on the ice, and they drill holes for like $1 or whatever, and it was like a 6-man like wooden structure with the holes right in the middle. And my sister went to go chase down a flag because I had a tip-up set up, and the tip-up went off. So my sister was determined to beat me, but I was outside the shelter while she was inside, and she heard me yell flag, and she sprung out of the seat, and her foot went right down the hole right in front of her, and she bruised her leg. It was like bruised for like a month. It was bad, but I remember I was fighting the fish, and all I heard was dunk. And then I hear my brother start laughing, and my sister's laughing, and all of a sudden I went through the hole. Now it was this was warmer than your situation. I mean, it was like it was like +3 or +4 degrees, so that's like what 37, 38 Fahrenheit for one American viewer.
Roughly.
Yeah, so it was significantly warmer, and they also had a heater, like a real propane heater in the hut. So my sister was fine; there was no issues there. And then we went back out the next day, and I was walking around on the ice in a t-shirt because it was like 6 degrees and sunny, and I was running around roasting. Like I was starting to sweat because I was running around because it was so warm out. But
I won't call that warm, but that does sound nice for winter.
Yeah, the warmest I've ever been out on was Family Day. I want to say it was 2016 or 2017. I was out ice fishing. When I walked out, it was minus 16 degrees Celsius at like 3 a.m. By the time I walked back, it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and it was 15 degrees Celsius.
Holy
above
crap.
Zero. I walked out with a survival suit, a pair of track pants and pajamas underneath. Then I had my regular long sleeve shirt with a hoodie and obviously the survival suit with a
Yeah.
toque and gloves. I was walking back in my pajamas, rolled up to my knees. Obviously, still my boots because there was about now 4 inches of water on top of it, so
Mhm.
it was just a pool on
Yeah.
top of the water. But and basically a t-shirt with like it was my long sleeve shirt with rolled up to my elbows, my pajamas rolled up to my knees, and I'm walking back, and I was just basically just bowling my sled because it was just floating, and that was probably the warmest it's ever been. Like
Yeah. 15 degrees on ice is something.
it was like a plus. It went from -15 to +15 in a
Good
span
old
of about
30-degree jump.
12 hours. It was something. It was something else. That was also the only time I've really ever been lake trout fishing, but it was Kempton
Okay.
Bay. That was a
Well,
couple ice fishing stories for you because it is the season.
third time's the charm. So have a good day, good night, whenever you're watching this. Like, share, subscribe, comment, and we'll keep producing more.
Even if it's ice fishing videos, comment those. We would